You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Pulse of East Providence with Mayor Bob DaSilva. You know, we try to get information out to our community with every media source available at our disposal. You know, we love to use public access TV. We also utilize our website, eastprovinceri.gov, and our various social media platforms. So we want to keep our community as informed about what's going on in our great city at all times. And one of the great things we have, and I hear it all the time from people all across the state, is all of the great restaurants and great venues and small businesses that we have here in our city. And we decided, talking to our staff, that now more than ever, we want to get the word out on all of these great little establishments. We want everyone across the state to hear about these great little businesses and to come into East Providence and continue to support these great, small, locally owned businesses. Today, we're going to be talking to Berta Cunha. Berta, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Berta,
I
listen,
appreciate that.
we are so happy to have you on, and not only to talk about the great business that you're operating, but I love to have people share their story, because people need to know how you ended up to where you are. Now, Berta, for those who don't know, she and her husband, Joe Pereira, own Berta's Red Bridge Tavern.
Yes.
But before we go there, I want to hear Berta's story. I want you to tell us about your background, how you ended up where you are today. Tell us about some of your singing, too. I know you're an incredible singer. Tell us about you, Berta.
So I born in Azores,
Okay.
Terceira Island, São Mateus. It's my hometown. Then I moved to Lisbon, and I was 23 years old. I lived there for 8 years. Then tomorrow marks exactly 10 years I get in here in America.
You've been here in the United States
exactly
10 years.
10 years.
That is incredible.
Yes.
All right. Your English is
Yes.
perfect. Did you learn English back in the old country, or did you learn here?
Actually, no. So what happened when I first got here, I don't know if this still happened, but I took in the library, they have English lessons.
Yes.
And I start from there because it's still not too good, but my English was bad.
Wait a minute. I'm glad you. I didn't know about that. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
So East Providence Public Library, we have a
Yes.
great library. We have an ESL course. You know, if you want to learn English, and we have a lot of people who are first-time English learners here in our community, because we have a very diverse community. People can go to the East Providence Public Library and sign up to learn and take English classes. So I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you took advantage of that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, that time, I don't know if still like that, but that time was free. It was free. And for a person who just came from Portugal, well, not a lot of money to spend, so it was great for me. And I start from there. And my brother helped me a lot on that too. And then I kept going. I was working in other restaurants, and I kept learning and trying to learn more and more. Today it's a little bit better.
You do fantastic. Your English is incredible.
Sometimes I can speak the English or Portuguese. I forget the words.
So I remember seeing you working at some of the other local restaurants.
Yes.
Here. Tell us about some of the restaurants you started working at.
Yeah,
when
so
you first came here.
the first restaurant I worked was Udinish.
Udinish, everyone knows
I
Udinish
did,
on Warren
yes,
Avenue.
yes.
Udinish private, wonderful.
It's my favorite. Still until today, I like the restaurant a lot. So, and I work at Riviera too.
Okay.
Was the two restaurants I work.
I remember
And
seeing you. I remember seeing you at both locations.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
besides, and we're going to talk about this great restaurant that
Yeah.
you've got going on right now. But besides being in the restaurant business, you're also into music and entertainment. Explain that.
Well, this starts here in America too.
Really?
Yes. So that time I was working too at Udinish, and this starts with Mark Dennis. Everybody in the Portuguese community knows him, and he invited me to open a show for him. Start singing like in Amigos da Terceira in Pawtucket, and was just to play around. And I went there and I opened one day the show for him, and I start from there. And I say, oh, I can make money here. So
Yes.
let's go from here.
I've heard you sing. You're incredible. I mean, so you had never been trained? You just
Well, I trained then. I trained after that,
You did,
and
okay.
even I took vocal classes too. And yes, of course I had to train, and then I record a few videos, music videos on YouTube.
So that's wonderful. Now, so you've been singing. You were working in a restaurant business.
Yes.
Tell us how you decided to own your own restaurant.
Well, was a chance I had to open in Fall River.
Yeah.
Was a place already almost ready to go. I didn't have to spend a lot of money. Me and Joe, we didn't have to spend like a lot of money.
So it was like a turnkey. The restaurant was there.
Yes.
And you just went in.
Yes. But we lived in Cranston, and it was a long drive. And when I first came, I came to East Providence, and I always wanted to come to East Providence. Plus, we own a building because in Fall River was a lease.
Right.
So, and then we heard Manny and Lucy, they didn't put the business for sale, but somebody told us they want to retire soon.
So Manny and Lucy were the longtime owners of the Red Bridge Tavern.
Yes.
Everyone in East Providence is very familiar with that.
Yes.
It's a great restaurant.
Yes.
So they decided. So you heard they were interested in selling.
And I walked in.
You did?
I did. I walked in.
Yeah.
I asked the bartender at that time if I could speak with Manny and Lucy.
Yeah.
And there came Manny and Lucy, and we talked to them, so we agreed on everything, and here
then
we are.
you and Joe,
Me
your
and
husband Joe Pereira,
yep, yes.
took over the business.
Yes.
You didn't change the name too much. You just put, what's the name of it now?
Well, it's Red Bridge Tavern. I put because we have our customers from Berta's Restaurant, Tapas and Bar in Fall River. I didn't want to lose that, and I want to know people know what it is.
Right.
So it's the name of the business, Berta's Red Bridge Tavern.
Yes.
But everything's still the same. Even the employees, the cooks are the same ones.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
the
wonderful.
same cooks there. The menu, it's exactly the one Manny did. We just add a couple things.
Wonderful.
We add a few a little bit more Portuguese food, but besides that, everything stays the same.
That's wonderful. And I've had the pleasure of stopping in and having dinner and lunch, and it always seems like there's a steady flow of people in and out. I mean, you're doing pretty well, it seems.
It is. It is. We're very, very blessed. We feel a lot of support, especially now. It's these hard times. East Providence, the folks from East Providence, they're very, very supportive. And we feel with everything that's going on with the bridge, we all know already about that, has been for lunch slowed down a little bit, but besides that, everything is good. Because what I feel, it's like people from outside, maybe sometimes they don't want to come in because of the traffic, but also the peoples from East Providence don't want to go out.
So
Same
they're
traffic.
staying local too.
So they end up staying local.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things we want to emphasize to people, because this show airs across the state of Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
And what we want to emphasize to people is that you can come in and out of East Providence rather easily and smoothly. Yes, there will be some delays in the early mornings, sometimes during rush hour, and in the evenings.
Yes.
But during the rest of the day, you're traveling through East Providence and through the Washington Bridge rather smoothly. We're taping this on a Thursday, and we're going to be joining the governor for a press conference later, talking about what the engineers are saying about the bridge. Yeah. I know that the DOT and their staff are working on adding a third lane. They're actively constructing that third lane. I'm hoping that third lane, going in each direction, is really going to open up traffic and make things a lot smoother throughout the city of East Providence. But what I'm glad you brought that up, because I want people to know that East Providence is open for business. Don't be afraid to come into the city and support your favorite local small businesses. Yeah. But your menu, so let's talk about your menu for a minute. I know you added a few different things, right? Yeah. Look, we're blessed here in East Providence. We have restaurants of all ethnicities. We have Italian, Portuguese, Brazilian, Korean, Japanese, Chinese. We're going to be sitting down with the owner of Skeff, Eileen, Harvey, who is a wonderful Irish restaurant. There's a lot of great restaurants here, and you have so many choices. We're so blessed. Tell me about what are the favorite dishes that people can look forward to, and what are the dishes that people are always talking about over at Berta's Red Bridge Tavern?
So one of the things, It's a couple things, but one of the things people like a lot, it's the steamers,
Yeah.
and the fact we have all year. It's not seasonal. We have all year. We have steamers.
All year you have steamers.
All year we have steamers.
How do you
fresh.
manage that? You getting them some from?
Well, we order from it's with this company, and they always have, and
Yeah.
we try to have all the time because we have those customers go there for that.
Specifically for the steamers.
For the steamers. Another thing, it's stuffies.
The stuffies are good.
Or stuffies,
you guys got
people.
some of the best stuffies.
Yes, and we sell for other restaurants too. There is
You
other
do.
restaurants.
You told me that before.
Yes.
There are other restaurants, we're not going to name them,
Yeah.
but there are other restaurants that
Yes.
come to you
Yes.
and purchase the stuffies to sell.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful to hear.
The grilled octopus with the roasted sweet potato.
Yes.
The steak, the shrimp, Mozambique.
You
It's
know,
a couple of things.
The black and blue salad, is that, what's the name of that salad?
It's-
Am I saying it right?
Yes,
That's my
black
favorite.
and blue. Yeah, with blue cheese. It's
Oh,
thick
man.
yes.
That is such an incredible salad.
Yes.
You know, for a guy who's trying to watch his
Yeah.
calorie intake, I'm going to have to stop in there more
Yeah.
often because it really is wonderful. So look, are there any things you want to share with the community about, you know, events or anything that's happening? Or, by the way, you have a little event room there, right?
Yes,
so
we
you
do.
can have events there.
Yes.
Explain how that
We
works.
do. We can do that smoke party until 30 people. We can fit in their room. We can do family. We do family style. Can be by order. We open every day for lunch, dinner, anything. Any
Any
kind
days of the
event.
week you're closed, or you
No,
open
we
7 days a
open-
week?
Yes, we open every day.
Now listen, let's talk about something that recently happened to you. Your family grew.
Yes,
Tell us about that.
I have a baby.
I don't know how you do it. You're an amazing
Yeah.
woman. You perform, you actively perform, you're running a
Now
restaurant.
I wanna cry.
You're running a restaurant, you just had a beautiful baby girl. Tell us about, tell about your baby.
Well, I wait too long. I always wanted to have a baby, but you know, you go in your life, you want to have the business, you want to have the house, because you come from Portugal with nothing. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And when you go look back, okay, we're 40 years old, so
Yeah.
now we want to have a baby. I want to have a baby, so then we decide to have a baby, and then I had Julia.
Yeah, and she is incredible. She's adorable. She's a beautiful little baby. And the thing is, she's been around, like she's with you when you're entertaining. She's with you when you're doing the, like, I just think that this girl, when she gets to be older, she's going to be an incredible person, a people person, because
Yes.
she's been around people all the time.
So I try to, everything I do, I try to take her with me. Even to when I go to the restaurant, not to work. When I go, like Fridays and the busy days, when busy times, she stays home. But when I go to I take her with me everywhere.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm so happy to hear that you're doing well. 3 years in. I
Yes.
mean, you opened it up right in the middle of the pandemic.
It was exactly in the middle of the
I
pandemic.
mean, you took a chance.
I did, but life is like that. You need to take chances,
Yes,
and we
yes.
did, and thank God we did.
If there was a message that you wanted to share with the community, people out there listening, what do you want to share about your business? What do you want to tell them?
Well, what I really want to say, I want to really, it's from my heart. Thank you so much for the support, and we really feel it. We feel the love of people, and lately I really feel more than ever. People do the reviews, great reviews on our restaurant. They come and support us. They parties there, especially the locals, the East Providence people. Thank you so much for all the support. We really, really appreciate that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Why don't you share your address and if there's a website?
Well, it's we on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. It's Redbridge Tavern, and it's in 22 Waterman Ave.
22 Waterman Avenue, East
yes,
Providence.
East Providence.
Berta, Cunha, Berta's Redbridge Tavern. Thank you so much for taking time to spend here with us today.
Yes.
We want to spread the word about your business and your great successes, and we wish you continued success and prosperity. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, we're going to be talking to Eileen Harvey from Skeff's, a wonderful Irish restaurant, bar, pub here in East Providence. Welcome back to the Pulse of East Providence with Mayor Bob DaSilva. You know, we're trying to highlight local small businesses here in East Providence. I truly believe that local small businesses are the lifeblood of a community's economic vitality. You need local small businesses to make a community vibrant. Not only that, it makes it a fun place to live. And today, I have a person, a guest with me, Eileen Harvey, who is, her and her family are the owners of Skeff's Pub here in East Providence. And she is a person who grew up in a community, started a business somewhere else, then brought it back here to East Providence. And it's a wonderful pub. If you haven't been there, Skeff's Pub on Broadway. But first, we want to start out with Eileen. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Now, Eileen, tell us about where you grew up. I know you grew up here in the city. Tell us about your childhood.
Sure. I grew up on Estrell Drive in Riverside, went to Platt Waters, and that's actually Rick Lawson, who's one of our councilmen.
Yeah.
We've been together since kindergarten all the way through.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And went to East Providence High School, graduated, and got into, just found myself loving manufacturing, got into manufacturing sales, and that's where I was up until I started my career as a bar owner.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I love hearing people's stories, like,
Yeah.
like your story and the person we had before, how they came to be a business owner, right? So you went to school, you went into manufacturing. Explain what you were doing there.
Sure. My first job was as a receptionist for a company that manufactured blind rivets.
Okay.
And the owner of the company came down and he said, "Look, kid, you're pretty smart. Read what you type and you're going to go places." Wow. So I did. Next thing you knew, I was running customer service and then inside sales. And then I was promoted to account manager and started doing a lot of customer interfacing. And that was it after that. After I left there, I went to IGUS Incorporated here in Rumford.
Great company.
When they were on North Broadway, like in the small building, yeah. And I was there for years and then went on to other companies. So I found myself in 2016, my daughter was working for actually Steve and Diane, who owns Stevie D's in Riverside.
Right.
Their first place was Stevie D's on Manville Hill Road in Cumberland.
Okay.
So my daughter, while she was in college, she worked for them as a bartender. And she called me up one day, my daughter, and said, "Mom, take a ride to Cumberland and come and see the place that you're gonna buy."
Really?
Yeah, because Steve and Diana just opened up
Yep.
in Riverside. They were, really highly successful, right out of the gate, doing a great job down there. And having the two places was a lot. So we went up there, we took a ride, and we said, we fell in love with it, my husband and I. And at the time, he was a lineman for National Grid. So we were both working full time. Right. Small enough place, 55 seats. And that's being very generous, right? So it was easy to handle. Steve and Diane's son also worked for us. He and my daughter became a thing. Now they own a house in East Providence.
Really?
Gave me two beautiful grandchildren.
A real East Providence
A real
story
East
here.
Providence love story.
It is.
Yeah. So we bought that place. We named it Skeff's. My maiden name is Skeffington.
Yeah.
And when my brother and sister and I were growing up, people say, "Oh, you're going to Skeff's house," or that's Skeff's, or whatever. That's just the nickname, right?
Yeah.
So I continued to work full time. And then in 2018, we bought Lou's Cafe in Manville, which was basically right down the hill from Skeff's. I stayed working full time for a few months, and I couldn't do it with both places. So I became kind of full time in the businesses. We always knew we wanted to get to East Providence, right? That was always the goal. As we grew to love this business, we said, look, I want to get back to where I came from. My husband's from Warren, this is our area. So when Tommy Cummings was selling Mulhern's, he told my brother, he said, "Look, I'm ready to move on, and I think your sister would do great over here." So, yeah, we sold both places. When it bought the facility, shut down for about 8 weeks. Just completely went through, built a brand new kitchen, and made it what we wanted, what we envisioned.
Right.
So, and that was signed the papers March 22nd, 2022. Wow. So it's almost our anniversary.
It really is.
Yeah, and then we opened mid-May.
So, okay, it's fascinating. You went from working in manufacturing to all of a sudden owning two restaurants, which is incredible, very successful. And the only reason you moved is because you wanted to come back home.
I wanted to come back home.
You wanted to come back home. Why don't you share with people the address?
Sure, it is 507 North Broadway.
507, the former Mulhern's.
Yep.
For those who don't know, 507 North Broadway. You did an incredible job remodeling the whole thing.
Thank you.
Tell us about what you did. Some changes there. Tell us what you did.
Right. So one of the things that I always loved about Mulhern's was that beautiful bar. Yeah. Right, so the bar has just got this great wood, and then like a mantle with the with the mirror, and that to me was always the center place of it. Right. So we knew like we didn't want to touch that. There's just some beauty to it. It's been there for how many years, right? So, but aside from that, we, it needed a lot of infrastructure work, heating, all, as old buildings do.
Right.
So we basically took it down to the studs. We changed around the configuration where the bathrooms are and built out a kitchen. So we could have, like a full service kitchen.
So this is what people need to understand. A small business owner, husband, wife, daughter is involved, right?
Yeah,
She's
daughter
managing
and son-in-law,
now, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Son-in-law
Yeah.
is involved in managing. It's a labor of love, but you invest a lot into it. And then we get hit with this situation that's causing kind of a traffic nightmare in some cases, but not as bad as people are always pounding it into people's heads out there. What is the message you want to tell people about your business?
I guess the message that I'd like to tell people, not only your prospective guests, but also other people in my community like myself, people who are trying to get through the day-to-day and overcoming obstacles, right? So it's almost like in one day, it'll be a 4-year anniversary of when Governor Raimondo shut down the state, and for good reasons, right? And I remember sitting there, it was my brother's birthday is the 15th. And I remember after everybody left and we're sitting at the bar, and I looked at my husband, I said, this is gonna be the last time we're sitting at this bar for a long time. We made it through COVID. We made it through with 2 places. We relied on the team that we had in place, right?
Yes.
2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. This is what we heard.
Yeah.
And every Sunday, I would look at the Commerce website to see what the new regulations were going to be.
Right.
We bobbed, we weaved, we adapted.
Resiliency.
No, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like you, as a business owner, you work really hard. You are your worst competition, right? So you can shoot yourself in the foot every single day and lose customers.
Right, true.
Can't blame it on competition. Competition is good, right? There's a butt for every seat, right? But when things start slipping away from you and things you have no control over, it's hard. You have to learn how to overcome that. So we got through that. This time with the bridge, when that happened on that Monday, I got that feeling again.
Right.
Like I have no control over this. Like my success is being determined by something outside of my control. Overcome it. We have to make changes that, they have to be made in order to get to the next steps, right?
Exactly.
In order to move on.
Exactly.
Things are actually getting better. So at first it was bad. Really,
Those
I'm just going to be honest with you.
Those first 4 days were.
It was, and December,
gridlock.
people canceling Christmas parties. I mean, my numbers are starting to come back up again.
Right.
But December, January, February, it was tough.
Yeah.
So I think people, once they get over the hysteria, it'll start to, people are like, okay, now it's become the norm.
Right.
Look, we're in this cup of soup. We all have to get out of it, right? We can complain all we want about the bridge and what happened. And yes, everybody mad, absolutely.
Right.
But this is our reality. Let's hold each other up. Let's help each other out, and let's get through it. That's my message.
That is incredible. That's a wonderful message. And I think people need to hear that. People also need to hear that you're not going to be stuck an hour trying to get to Skeff's. I mean,
Right.
The reality is, you have those times where you have more of an issue in the morning, in the evening, if there's an accident on the bridge or something like that. But normally during the rest of the day, you're traveling back and forth without an issue. And we understand that they're working on putting in a 3rd lane. I'm hoping that's going to really open up things. We're taping this on Thursday, the 14th of March. There's going to be a press conference later. We'll learn more from the governor and his team and DOT on what's going to happen with the bridge. I think once people know exactly what the game plan is, and they know and they settle down to reality, yes, we've got to do this or that, it will calm people down, and hopefully people will understand that, hey, yeah, it's an extra 15 minutes, but you know what? I want to support Eileen and her family. I want to support Skeff's. I want to support my favorite small business here in East Providence. We want people to continue coming over to support you. Now, listen, let's talk about some of the great stuff you have on the menu.
Okay.
All right. So you have. So I've had the opportunity to come down for St. Patrick's Day. Now, unfortunately, this is going to air after St. Patrick's Day. I know that you for next year, maybe we start telling people now. It's almost like a whole week for you, right?
Yeah, so this is crazy. It's all hands on deck. Yeah. Actually, as we sit here right now, I have short ribs in the oven that are braising nice and low and slow for our shepherd's pie.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, St. Patrick's Day is just, it's fun. We have traditional Irish music and bagpipers all weekend.
Okay.
Right? So I mean, I couldn't be prouder. We've got a gentleman from Tipperary. We've got, we've got some good things lined up.
That's wonderful.
Our points of pride on our menu, which also will be part of our St. Patrick's Day menu, are our hand-rolled egg rolls.
Okay.
So, and this is Tyler, my kitchen manager, my daughter's boyfriend, right? Yeah. So, Reuben egg rolls. We're having shepherd's pie egg rolls that you dip it into the gravy. So yeah, we make a house-made Guinness sauce, which is, it's equal parts brown sugar and Guinness, and that's all I can say because the rest is all process. Yes. But yes, people rave about the egg rolls. They rave about the Guinness sauce. We do specials all weekend long, and Tyler and myself work together on those. Although I have gone back to work, so Tyler and Shannon have. They're
running the show.
They're doing great, man.
They are doing great.
And
that
we're
whole
still
connection.
a great team, but I'm still hands-on to an extent, but more at the 5,000-foot level. These kids are amazing.
That's wonderful. Now, what about entertainment? You have all kinds of
entertainment.
That's happening like on a regular basis. When can we expect to see entertainment there?
Okay, every day is special at Skeff's.
Okay. Yes.
We're closed on Monday, so that's kind of special for Shannon and Tyler. They can put their feet up and be with their kids. On Tuesdays, we've got specials. Wednesday, we've got trivia. Yeah. Thursday, karaoke. Friday, music bingo. Saturday is acoustic music. Once a month after football and until football, right, we do Irish sessions. Okay. So Tony Gahan from Tipperary, Ireland, he comes in, and Irish sessions are very traditional in Irish pubs where people just sort of meet. And you've seen the table we've got over in the corner with the seating around it. Yeah. It's just like that in Ireland. So one guy will come in with his guitar. If you play the fiddle, you bring a fiddle. If you sing, you sing.
Well, that is awesome.
So everybody's welcome to join, whether it's Irish, Portuguese, anything, American folk. If you can sing it, Bob, bring it.
I'm going to try. Listen, I want to thank you, Eileen, for joining us today. Skeff's Pub, East Providence on Broadway. Stop in, show them your love, show all of our small businesses your love. They need it now more than ever. Thank you so much for spending time here with us today to talk about your great business. And we'll see you next week. Stay safe on the Pulse of East Providence with Mayor Bob DaSilva.